Tying the knot this year has people second guessing the usual places as society continues to work on getting its COVID sea legs. We'd like to welcome back Kayla Williams, owner of Mod Events Charleston. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what are they doing nowadays? Because a lot of these weddings were postponed from last year, and then they're just wondering what venue's best when people are still coming down with COVID. So what is the trend in weddings this year?
Right now, weddings are moving back into happening. Obviously, 2020 was kind of terrifying, and weddings were hard. So now people are starting to kind of gather a little bit more. Obviously, it's smaller groups, and we're trying to do more indoor-outdoor things. You know, shoving everybody into one little place is not working as well as it used to.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of the venues have just kind of started opening up to smaller guest count, larger tables with less people at them, and just kind of moving forward with a better eye on what is COVID safe. You know, we're doing a lot more seated plated dinners. We're doing a lot of plexiglass shields over bars and just really doing everything we can to keep people safe during these times.
So the buffet, is that kind of out right now?
Buffets are hard. So, yeah. And you're not walking up to a cheese plate anymore. Now everything is very served. Everything is kind of taken care of. And, you know, the venues and vendors have really stepped up. You see a lot of sanitation stations at weddings now. You walk up and there's really pretty, super nice looking hand sanitizer. And all of your vendors are wearing masks. And, you know, everybody's just being really careful. And being as careful as they can, but not putting people's lives on hold for so long. I mean, I have brides who have postponed 4 times. Gosh. We never knew we would be this far in. And at some point, you move on.
You just kind of scrap the whole party and you get her done and then you party later.
It's hard because when will you party later? When will we ever be back? So it's hard to know what's the right thing to do. At some point, I feel like you just do what you can and you know, you have the group that comes, who matters.
So I know that a lot of venues and the ones that were really prepared and already had kind of that outdoor space, because they say outdoor gatherings are much safer than indoor gatherings. I would imagine that they're quite booked up. So how far out are we looking at? I mean, if someone's getting engaged this year and they're thinking, well, I'd like to get married by the end of the year, is that even a possibility around here?
It's a lot harder. I'll be honest. Getting married, you know, a lot of 2020 moved to 2021, and 2021 is pretty booked up for a lot of venues. We have people who are talking about 2023 at this point, just because you don't know when things are going to be safe again, but also mostly because 2021 is super booked. So people are booking into 2022 because venues are kind of at capacity with what they can take at the moment. But that doesn't mean that you can't get married this year. You just have to be more creative and like open up your search.
How do you handle the invite situation? So how many people get, you know, knocked off the list?
It is a little harder because, let's be honest, you can't invite every single person that you know anymore. I mean, you can, but you need a big venue for it. But a lot of people are just kind of making them a little smaller and then just taking more precautions. And I suggest to my clients, on your RSVP card, if you want to invite everybody, because please, Lord, let us be in a better place at the end of this year. But if you want to invite everybody, maybe on your RSVP, you have, please include your email address in case anything changes and we have to reach out. You know, and a lot of people are doing more of like a live Zoom for their ceremonies. A lot of churches aren't allowing so many people.
Yeah, it's not ideal for a lot of people, you know, but it's what you can do. Now, cancellation clauses, are venues being more flexible? Is everyone just kind of being more flexible?
There's a lot more flexibility, but it's also hard because the wedding business took a huge hit. So venues are doing what they can and really kind of taking things on a case by case, you know, basis. It's really hard because we want people to be safe, but we also don't want them to wait until 2025 to get married. So we want to do everything we can to make sure they have a great wedding with the people who matter.
Okay, so let's think about outside of the box places where people can get married. Everyone kind of picks the usual places, which is why they're all getting booked up. Can you tell us maybe 3 different locations that maybe no one's ever thought of?
Well, I will tell you, I've done a lot more backyard weddings in 2020 than I ever thought I would. Sometimes people are just embracing what they can do, have a caterer come in, and really keeping it small, keeping their family and friends there, but still having something beautiful. That's not exactly what they planned. And a lot of people are thinking about switching from church ceremonies because churches aren't allowing a lot of guests inside, to doing more outdoor ceremonies. So some of the parks are more booked up, and I'm doing a few more beach weddings than we normally do, just because people are trying to do outdoor ceremonies as well.
Maybe a skydiving ceremony or something. I mean, it's been done. I don't think I'm coming up with anything unusual.
Right.
Exactly. All right. So, silver lining, when do you see things changing?
So spring is starting to pick back up. We're hoping that the vaccine and with the warm weather that we'll be back to somewhere normal after the spring and summer kind of get through. Right now, we're just hopeful for a better, a better spring and summer. But I tell people all the time, like, don't give up on your wedding. It's still going to be beautiful. It might not be quite as many people, and there might be a different dinner service than you planned, but you can still have the wedding that you want. You just need to be smart about it.
Sometimes things happen for a reason. Kayla, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're back after this.